Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Stokes and this is Football Fans Tribe. Over here we interview Nigeria football fans after matches and we give you Nigeria football fan content back to back. So if you're new, please click that subscribe button and thank you so much for watching. So reporting live from the beautiful, the architectural marvel and the very stunning stadium that is Stadium 974. Now, fun fact about this stadium is that it was put together by with rather 974 shipping containers. So container don't land for this stadium, and another beautiful thing is that this stadium can be detached, so they can bring it down very neatly and move on with their life. So this stadium will not be here. They just pack it up and move it to another site, just like that. Anyways, on to the rest of the information and the purpose of this video. So we are talking about one key player, or in my opinion, one key player for each African side in the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Now, this is my opinion. You can disagree freely. Please drop a comment and let me know what you think. I will be running through each of the African teams, one after the other, starting with Senegal. Now, as at the time of recording this video, Senegal will play Netherlands today, but notwithstanding, I still have a key player for that country, and I feel he will be very instrumental to Senegal's progress moving on in the World Cup. Now, with the sad news of Sadio Mane's exit of the tournament due to injury, Senegal still have a lot of good players: Crepin Diatta, Ismail Sarr, and so many players in midfield: Nampalys Mendy, Kalidou Koulibaly in defense, Edouard Mendy, last year's European best goalkeeper. So many players to be considered, but where my concern is the very interesting two-footed striker that is Boulaye Dia. Now, he has started the last few games for Senegal, and the 26-year-old has 6 goals in 14 Serie A matches this season for newly promoted Salernitana. So, man, but they have somebody that could break into the scene and shock everybody in this World Cup. So, look out for Boulaye Dia. Something interesting about that boy, and I like him. He's a very mobile striker and will look to cause havoc, not just in the group stage. If Senegal move on to the later rounds of the tournament, keep an eye. And I think he will be a key player because Senegal need goals, and that attack will be very blunt if there's not somebody putting up the chances and taking those chances that are coming from the wings, Crepin Diatta, and of course Ismail Sarr on one or the other wing. So look out for Boulaye Dia. And we have Tunisia, and I picked one very interesting player from these people. Now, he's very experienced, as with most of the rest of the Tunisian team, but keeping an eye on this man now because he has, I think, 4 goals and assists in the World Cup, in the last World Cup. He also has 3 goals and assists in 4 AFCON matches. Now, that's goals and assists put together. He's 31 years old, and the one thing what that happened, because we were at AFCON when Tunisia removed the Super Eagles from the World Cup. So, funny thing, he was on the bench, he was warming up, and what happened was when they gave Iwobi that red card, I think he had one very interesting reaction. Immediately, Iwobi got that red card. He was drinking water, so he just fling the water, and that was like a celebration of a goal. And then everybody started coming around him, and they were celebrating. Team spirit, and I think he gathers that team spirit in that team. He's also very influential in the dressing room, captains the side, and he's a tournament footballer. You know, there are some players that perform very well in tournament where you have to come win 7 matches and you win the trophy. He's that kind of guy. So very experienced as well. Was in the last World Cup, like I said, and also in this World Cup. So the Tunisian Wabi Kazri, keep an eye on that guy for Tunisia, and I feel he'll do great things. If Tunisia do anything reasonable, hey man, if Tunisia do anything reasonable in this World Cup, trust me, Kazri's hand will be inside, behind, and around it. So keep an eye on Wabi Kazri for Tunisia, and let's move on to the next country. We move. On to the next country, and we'll be talking about our brothers, Cameroon. Now, Cameroon, we know how well they did in the African Cup of Nations, and this player was especially special in the Nations Cup. Now, Vincent, the King of Garoua, Aboubakar. Now, as you all know, he was great during the African Cup of Nations, scoring goal after goal. And there was a very interesting quote from that man before the World Cup started, when people were doubting and are still doubting Africa's performance in this World Cup. So he said, if it takes him scoring 2 goals in every game in this World Cup, he will do it to make people believe in the African dream. So, Vincent Aboubakar is my key man and my proposed key player and important player for the Cameroonian national team. The Indomitable Lions, we all know they are good at tournament football, but let's see how it goes. Maybe they can replicate their form before this tournament and in previous tournaments from 1990, 1994. We all know what they did. In case you don't know, do some Google research. But that's my key player, the 30-year-old Cameroonian international, Vincent Aboubakar. On to the next one. And we are moving on to Morocco. Okay, so Morocco, very, very interesting country. One of the North African representatives here at the World Cup. And let's talk about one key player now. He's a left-footed right winger and very, very talented, can whip the ball with more technique than a lot of players. So, without further ado, Chelsea's own Hakimi. You're supposed to be replying Ziyech. Anyways, Hakim Ziyech, I feel, has a point to prove. And if you watch, he was given a chance against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. Did very well in that game, one of Chelsea's better players. And I feel it's very, very interesting, his situation, because he has played, I think, 30 minutes per game this season. Only 5 games played this season, so he has no goals, no main goal contribution yet. But what he does have on his side is a point to prove. And very, very interestingly, we'll see how it goes for him. And I feel he's a definite starter. That's one thing about all the influential players that I've picked in this one. And I feel Hakim Ziyech has a point to prove, and he will do something very, very interesting in this World Cup. He wants to sell himself, maybe if he wants to leave Chelsea in January. And of course, the World Cup is the biggest stage in football, so why not? He also has some interesting attacking players alongside him in that attack. So one to watch, and I feel he will be very, very influential for this Moroccan team. And there's no more inspiration and there's no more motivation than when you have a point to prove about how good you are. And Hakim Ziyech, we all know he has the talent. Recently, from last season, he started picking up and doing some interesting footwork that I didn't know he had. So, man on a mission, Hakim Ziyech for Morocco. That's my guy. On to the next one now. And on to the Black Stars! The Ghana Black Stars. Not to forget you guys. Of course, as you know, they knocked us out of this Qatar World Cup, but we still come because nothing concerns us. We like to check our nose in what doesn't concern us. But anyways, moving on with the Ghana Black Stars now. Let's move. One key player, and I feel he will be the influential player in this World Cup for Ghana. He's a defender. He was a midfielder, but converted to defense, and he's very, very instrumental. He has personally 8 clean sheets in his last 9 games. Now, the 8 includes the match between Ghana and Switzerland. Personally, for his club side, he has 7 clean sheets in the last 8. The only team that has scored a defense that he has been playing with in the last 8 games has been Man City, and it was only 1 goal. Now, Leicester City started the season very, very poorly, but Big Dan Amate has taken charge. He's in charge, and he's kind of bringing a stability to the defense that wasn't there before. So if Ghana are scared of, if they don't really get on with scoring in this tournament, I believe they will be very difficult to score against. They will have very, very low goals against in this tournament. Even if they lose any game, I don't feel it to be more than 1 or maybe a 2-goal margin if the team too good. And any team that beats them with more than a 2-goal margin may go on to either get to the final or win this competition. I know that's a lot of mouth work, but that's just how I feel. So Dan Amate, not Thomas Partey, not Inaki Williams, not Mohammed Salisu or any other of the new boys. Dan Amate has been there, and he has a very, very huge role to play personally. And considering that he will have somebody that will be playing his first World Cup by his side, I feel the key partnership or the best partnership should be Dan Amate and Mohamed Salisu. He's new in the team, and he's a young lad. Needs to be integrated, so having Big Dan by his side. And I can't seem to forget a very, very interesting performance that Amate had with Ndidi once upon a time when Leicester played both of them in central defense. So he's a very, very good defender, and the most important part of that Ghana midfielder I feel will be very, very stable is that defense. So Dan Amate, the most influential and key player, in my opinion, for Ghana. Of course, this will change, or this might change. This is just my opinion. If the players don't perform, that's Sabi. But at the end of the day, this is my opinion. And of course, I would like to hear your thoughts as well. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Who do you think will be the key player for these African teams in the World Cup? Wish Africa well. If you're watching from anywhere, please drop a flag and represent your country. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before leaving. Every like in this video, you're adding a blessing and a goodwill wish to us as we made this trip here down to Qatar. Don't forget, this video is sponsored by you watching this video. And I thank you so much for watching. And we'll go see for front. Oje, Bades, Skibo, blah, 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 blah.